Hello, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire. This is Purple Poppy, and as you can see, or you can probably guess, we're going to do a new Sunday stitching project. So I have got here a piece of wadding, as you can see, that I've already cut to the size that I want. Now I must admit I didn't actually measure it, so let's do that first of all, shall we? Excuse me, I'm still coughing, for which I can only apologise. Okay, so this piece of wadding, which is going to act as my base cloth, is so it's 14 inches long because I've folded it in half by just under 8¾ inches. And the fabrics that I've got here are basically bits of clothing. So I've got this, I was going to say rust, but it's more of a mustard really, isn't it? I've got this mustard, I've got this wool. This is a bit of hubby's shirt, I think you've seen that before. This is a pair of my trousers. I've got the pocket off of a pair of jeans. So it is open at the bottom, but we can stitch that. I've got this beautiful, this is actually a fabric sample, beautiful velvety in a sort of pinky colour. And then I've got this brown one. So I feel these colours are going to work well together. So I'm just going to set about chopping them up and placing them on. Now I don't know yet whether this will be a journal cover or indeed a pouch. But if it's a pouch, it's going to be a pouch that way, because I'm going to work on it landscape, as it were. And my pocket is going to be, as it were, my main feature. So I'm going to pop that down there. I'm now going to just start adding things. So we want something going that way. And I did think actually it might be novel if we put, because this is the button end of hubby's shirt, if we put that on there, because then it's a bit too long, which is fine. Doesn't matter if it's too big, does it? And then we can put our pocket on top and add others. But this could act as a closure for us, because if I dig out hubby's shirt piece that's just here next to me, then we could take the corresponding buttons. No, we can't actually, because I've already had that, but we could take another bit of buttons to put on that end. So I think I'm going to do that. I'll leave his shirt out. So I think I want to come in to about there. These scissors are not the best. This is the bottom of the shirt, so it's got the seam on, that's why. Right, so I'm going to rip that off, pull out them threads. And I did notice from the comments of last Sunday's video, there are a number of people that are feeling a bit lost at the moment and agreeing that maybe they don't want to do the Roxy Girls. Do you know what? There's only 2 buttons on there. I'm going to swap this quickly. As I want the buttonholes now anyway, I'm going to quickly, sorry, there's a car alarm going. I'm going to swap this out quickly for the next piece up, which has got the buttonholes and the buttons in it. But I do need to quickly do this up to work out that, make sure we get the right bit. So if I do that one there, and then, because you know it's like you do the buttons up wrong, you suddenly cut the wrong piece, and we'll do that one there like so, and then we're just going to take the next piece. So actually, where's the sleeve? So we're going to have two, but they're going to be in the middle. So right, and that's now torn weird there. So right, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the original piece of shirt, because now that's wrong. Move all these threads. See, when you start a new project, right, so what we actually want is for it to go that way, don't we? So this is the holes that are going to go over that side. This is our edge. This is where we were just now. So we've just basically repeated what we were doing. Okay, and I'm going to come in to that line there. That's now spare. So that is my edge there. Okay, and there, and we can see we're just slightly over the edge, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so I've got that. My pocket is going to sit now. In case I do want this as a book cover, I need to make sure that I know where that fold line is. So there's my pocket going on there. I have ordered new pins, but they haven't come yet, so I'm still working with these semi sharp ones. Right, okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pin in on the fold line so that I know that that is in fact my fold line. Okay, so I mustn't go past there, and if I do another one at the top, then I can open it back out and know where I am. You see, that's the theory anyway. Okay, so I'm thinking that if I use this wool, it's not quite long enough, which is annoying. So maybe, how's this pinky bit? That's not quite long enough either. Perhaps you're going to have to shorten it, ladies. Oh, and gents, sorry. Shouldn't say that. So, okay, let's split this trouser leg then, because that's definitely going to be long enough, isn't it? Okay. And I love the spots on this. So I don't think this is going to... Oh, it has. I didn't think it was going to tear. So if we now add that there under our jeans, it doesn't actually, it just feels blocky, which I don't like, especially as I'm going to want to put this piece at the bottom. I just got to make sure where these buttonholes are again, otherwise it's just not going to line up, and then we're going to have a problem. So do you know what? I'm going to actually put it back together. That's my way of doing this, I think. It's the only way to make sure. So and now I'm wondering if that's all just going to be too finicky, because they are quite small buttons, aren't they? Anyway, let's go with it for now. So that's going to sit like that. That's going to sit like that. And then that is going to come over to there. So now if we pin that back down, not back down, pin that down. So put a finger between the wadding, because obviously I don't want to pin the two lots of wadding together. That would be a bit silly, wouldn't it? Right. Okay, so now if we open it up again, we know that we've got our buttons in the right place, and this time it is overhanging quite a lot. So I'm thinking what I'd like to do. I'll worry about that later. So I probably won't even end up using it as a do-up anyway, and that is so out of line now. do you know what? I'm just going to start all over again. Just cancel everything that I've said in the last 10 minutes. You're probably even beginning to wonder why you're here. It's all going wrong, Mum. Right. I have this piece of wadding and these bits of clothing. And I'm thinking, on reflection, they're too fiddly to use as a closure. So I'm just going to go for this pocket. I'm going to take my pinking shears and I'm going to cut a triangle. Oh, one of these horrible fray fabrics. Okay, there we go. Start again. Start again, Claire. There you go. That just feels absolutely amazing. I can't tell you how lovely that feels. Okay. And then, where was this? I'm going to be really controversial now. And instead of going in those straight lines or the squares I would normally go in, I'm going to go on the angle. Let's make it a little bit more interesting, shall we? Right. Trim that off. Okay. Now, I'm going to put that bit. This is a bit with the buttonholes in. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to trim that on that grey line, like so. Am I even on screen? Just about. Let's pull you down a bit. There you go. Okay. Now, where is our pocket? Nearly flicked that pin into me coffee then. That's not good, is it? Now this is going to sit there. So I feel like from the different blacks, what we want now is some of this mustard. And this mustard is now long enough. So I'm going to come up the middle, basically. I'm going to tuck it under the shirt and leave that finished edge at the bottom. Come through there. Okay. And we'll pin our jeans back on. Love it. All the different textures. It's just going to be amazing. let's put another pin down here. See, this is what these pins do. Right. Okay. So in here, is that where we put this bit of wool, or some of this wool? And I think this time, is that going to be, I think, yeah, no, let's do, go across that line there, do a bigger bit. You see, and this is where it takes more time to plan very often. See, now I don't like it anyway. So, it's going to have to come over here. A little bit further. Right, so we'll pin that. And we'll pin that. So I'm wondering now if I go back to the original small piece that I cut. See, it's interesting because that side is like plain and this side is checkered. That's because of the way it's... See, I've got no words. I'm still a bit brain dead from this cold. The weft and the warp. No, not warp. The weft goes from the left and the... Oh, I don't know. Anyway. Right. Suddenly now it doesn't look anywhere near as black as it did. Happy with that. So now I'm going to get a big bit of this, I think, to go across there. So quite a big wide bit like that. Cool. Okay. I think we're going under these two. Like that. Yep. So need it to go over a little bit more. We need a better overhang than that. That's better. We've got to get decent overhang. Okay. Now, we haven't yet used any of this one. And I'm not sure that I want to use it now. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to this lovely pink. And this one we had coming down. So I think this one we're going to go across. And I think we're going to go across there. like so. That's going to tuck under there. Lovely. So then right. Okay. It's good. It doesn't feel black now, does it? Like it did. And then I think, where's the... No. What happened to the other piece of that? Is that it? No. But this will do. So we tear that off there. We're going to pin that in there, like so. Oh, see, I flicked that pin all over there, didn't I? I'm just wondering whether to introduce this brown and put a bit of that there, or whether we should put another bit of the mustard in. So I'll trim this off and see. Oh yeah, I like that there. So get rid of all those frayed bits. Use the pin that I flicked. There's that one. And then that one. Okay, how are we doing? Let's get some more pin here. Okay. I feel like I want something there. Am I going to use another piece of this gold just to plonk there? Plonk sounds awful, doesn't it? But you know what I mean. Do you know what? After all that, I'm now not sure about this piece. I think it's this piece that's causing me the problems. So let's they think takes all the time is the location of the fabrics. Oh, these pens. Look, they just are ridiculous. Anyway, that's a subject we've discussed previously. Right, and now that I've done that, I don't know, although I do want a bit of that actually, because, well, I just feel like I do, so let's cut it smaller and let's pop it there. Right, let's get rid of this because I feel like it's making it all a bit uneven. How do we feel? Because also we'll have a pocket there, we can put something in. And if I end up using it as a pouch, then we've got a pouch or a book actually, because it is going to get folded up, so it doesn't really matter what we use it for. We've got that as the front and then that as the back. I think that works for me. What say you? Obviously I'm going to stitch all over it. Right. Yes, okay. So let's cut off this. Whoops, that's my iron on the floor. My elbow's giving it a bash. Okay. There you go. There is our new project. Now, we've been just over the half an hour. Pick my iron up. So, I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you go and have the rest of your day. I've got normal machine thread here, and I'm just going to set about stitching all these pieces down, just with, you know, a hidden tacking stitch as it were. Little one on the top, big one on the bottom, because obviously this is the inside. Not quite sure what fabric I will yet use, but all our stitching will be there, and when we put our lining on, it's all going to be hidden inside. Actually, that trouser leg might do it, mightn't it? So there you go. So there's my next project. As I say, I'm going to stitch all this down as homework, and then when I come back next time, we'll do all the pretty embroidery stitches on it. And this will keep us going through the month of June. So as always, thank you so much for coming and spending time with me. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.